if I can find the record button. Sorry, mouse decided to do something weird. Um, I'm Carla Hightower. I'm the 4-H agent for the Mauritania District, and thank you for getting on our Miami County Fair update for 2025. And with me, I have Caitlin.
Hey guys, I'm Caitlin Barthol. I'm the ag agent, so I work a lot with all of you livestock exhibitors. So
And last year we had a huge amount of changes. This year we don't have as many, but there are still some changes that we wanted you to be aware of. And we are, like I said, we're recording this, so we'll put this up on our YouTube account and on our website, and also probably on Facebook too. So if you miss part of it because you are at ball games or something, um, feel free to look back on that. The other thing is, if you have questions at any time, just unmute yourself and ask, or if you feel more comfortable in the chat, we will try to watch the chat as we go through as
yep.
well. So, anything else, kind of as an opening, Caitlin?
Also just with the recording, please feel free to tell the rest of your families and your club that, hey, this is what I learned watching this Tuesday night, and here's the recording. So that way we're just able to get the word out to everybody.
Okay. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, our agenda for tonight is we're going to talk about the livestock entry schedule. There are some changes to that. There's some major changes to our interior design and architecture projects. So I'm going to go over those. We also are requiring packets for all our STEM or engineering and technology, as it's now known. We keep changing the names of those. We did make some changes to beef bred and owned requirements. We have a new fashion review judging location. Performing Arts has a new time and date. And then we're going to talk exhibit release, schedule reminders, and pre-entry reminders. So with that, let's get started.
All right. So one thing that's changing with livestock this year is the sheep and meat goat vet check, which was usually on Monday night. We have now changed that to Tuesday morning. So all the animals mainly will be on the ground on Tuesday morning. Swine and beef, if you guys still wanted to come in Monday during the day or during the evening, that's still fine. But sheep, meat goats, and dairy goats, if you are stalling the whole week, you guys have to go through vet check, which is now on Tuesday morning. So look on the screen in front of you is going to be our new schedule for animal livestock check-in. So these are when animals have to be on the ground. So swine, nothing's changed for you guys. You still have to be on the ground by 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Sheep and meat goats, vet check for you guys will be located in the north parking lot. We will have a designated area for you, and that's going to be happening between 7 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. So when you guys come in on Tuesday morning, find that designated location and go ahead and park your trailers in there. Dairy goats, like I said, if you guys are stalling the whole week, you got to go through that check on Tuesday morning, that 7 to 8:30 time frame. Beef and dairy cattle, if dairy cattle stalling the whole week, you guys got to be checked in and in the barn by 9 o'clock on Tuesday. 4-H and open class bucket calves, if open class bucket calves are stalling the whole week, 10 o'clock is when you guys need to be there on the grounds and checked in. So, um, I think that's it. If you guys have questions, let me know. But I think that's gonna kind of help you guys know when your animals have to be on the ground. Oh, yeah, fairgrounds. Carla, if you want to go to the next one.
One thing on that. So I don't think we're wanting beef and swine or beef to try to come in from that 7:30 to 8:30 while we're doing check-in for goats and swine, sheep, are we?
Yes, they can because
Okay.
our sheep and meat goats, more than likely, in that north parking lot, we will have you guys probably towards the east side. We will have our big yellow, heavy, not panels, but um oh, those gate thingies,
The lane.
barriers. That's what I'm looking for, the barriers. We'll have those lined up and have kind of a certain pathway for the sheep and meat goats. So if you just have swine and or beef, you can go normal and go through. But if you have sheep, meat goats, dairy goats that are stalling the whole week, um, you have to sit and wait and go through vet check. So we're going to try and make sure we have a certain area while everybody else who doesn't have those species could just continue on through to unload.
Okay.
A good question. Um, so weigh in. We are kind of moving. We had to weigh in a little bit since we're not weighing those sheep and meat goat in on Monday night. So this is how weigh-in's gonna go. So we're gonna kick things off about 7:30 with the swine, since swine have to have the panels and everything around the weigh shack. And then once the panels and everything remove, beef people, I want you guys to be watching. So once the panels are everything are gone, we're gonna start bringing down the beef to be weighed in. Once all the beef get through, we'll start yelling for the sheep, followed by the meat goats and you bucket calf exhibitors. If you guys want to come down after everybody's been weighed in, or if you want to come down during the beef, that's fine too. If you guys want to weigh those little bucket calves, so that's going to be the order that we're going to go in. We're going to go swine, beef, sheep, and then meat goats. Now I know there's several other projects being judged or checked in at that same time in the buildings. A lot of the static events are being checked in at the same time. All we need is at least one family member there to bring your animals down for you guys. So, but one thing, all livestock must be weighed in by 10 a.m. That way we have enough time, since we do have sheep and meat goats showing that night. 10 o'clock is kind of our cutoff time. That way we have enough time to get everything entered in the system and get show programs made up before those shows that evening. So I think this should flow pretty smoothly that morning. But if you guys have questions, let me know.
And just kind of piggybacking on that static, because we do have a lot of static exhibits that are being judged in the building. If you check in with your static department and superintendent and you need to go and do something with your animals, you just need to check in and let us know so we know to wait on you. Because we go till 11:30, so there should be plenty of time on most of these things to get you through. But if you can come in and check in, that's better. Or wait, because like I said, especially if something goes to 11:30, but don't wait till like 11 or 11:30 to come in. Try to get in there at 10 or 10:30 so that you have plenty of time to get through with the judge. All right, talking about interior design and architecture, they've changed this at the state level. They've been working with our College of Architecture at K-State to really see what they want students that are coming in, what they think is a priority for our students for, the priority for potential students is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, it's been a long day already. But one of the things is we have a couple of new classes. I left a couple of the classes that have been popular before in, but they will no longer be eligible for state fair. And that is the item for a home and the notebook. So you can still do those at the county fair. You can bring them in, whether it's a lamp you redone or a table or a chair, reupholstered a chair. Any of those things can still come to the Miami County Fair. They just cannot go on to state fair. Instead, they're doing more on room design boards, collages, dioramas, and they also do have some construction things for the architecture part with marble mazes and enclosures. There's more information about this on our website and on the state fair website, especially Kansas 4-H, under interior design and architecture. I am trying to get a couple of interior design, especially for the collages, mood some of the collages, or sorry, I really cannot talk today. I'm trying to get a workshop set up to do collages in the Paola and the Mound City office this summer. So in June. So be looking for that to come out. It should come out in the next few weeks, couple weeks about that if you're interested in that. So hopefully they can at least have their collages ready to go, and maybe you might have to put them on a design board or something and add a little bit of explanation, but they could have a project done if they come to that workshop. So this is kind of a big change, but I think it's good, and it's obviously going the direction our kids need if they're actually interested in pursuing interior design or architecture as a career. Okay, going on with that, packet requirements for engineering and technology projects. Some of these have had packets for a long time. And when I talk about packets, what this is it's an exhibit form that you have to fill out. And it kind of has a scorecard on it as well. And then you glue it to a 10 by 13 inch envelope. And you place the plans, pages of photos, videos of operation, and other documentation inside the envelope and attach it to your exhibit. So some of the ones that have had that for a while is the building block engineering, your computer science, your robotics, your rocketry, and your uncrewed aircraft systems, which we don't really have at our fair anyway. But this is new for ag mechanics. It's new for electric and renewable energy, and it's new for small engines. So if you have kids who are taking any of those projects, be sure and get that. I am working with Julie to get those on the website here shortly. So we will get those up as soon as we can. We were waiting on a couple things from the state. They were finishing up some things as well. So, but those are forms, and they're not bad, but as you're doing your small engines, be sure to take pictures and document what you're doing, and have all those things ready to go for that project. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, moving on.
All right. Um, so when we introduced the bread and owned class in the beat department here a couple years ago, we just want to keep improving on that. And so we've kind of expanded, I guess, maybe the requirements or conditions that the animal has to meet to be in that bred and owned division. So a bred and owned heifer and or steer must meet all of the following conditions. So the exhibitor has to be the owner of that entry, which if they're tagged in, then they are the owner of that entry. The immediate family is the owner of the dam of the entry and the breeder. And then the immediate family has been the sole and continuous owner of the entry since birth. And then, as I say, immediate family, that includes siblings, step-siblings, and or parents slash guardians. So, like I said, when we introduced this division a couple years ago, we're just trying to, I guess, expand it a little bit and make sure it's we can get some more entries in that category. So if you have some questions regarding that, let me know. But that's the requirements that that animal has to meet to be able to be in that division.
And this is a change from previous years, or from last year, because last year they required registration papers, but we're just taking word of mouth, or is there a paper they're going to have to fill out? But they don't have to be a registered animal, right? Correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. But you don't have to be a registered animal. That animal just has to meet these requirements. And so, yes, we are, I guess, trusting that all of our families are following these requirements for that steer or heifer.
And we always find out if they're not. So, all right. So moving on to fashion review judging. There's not a lot with this. It's still the same date, but we did change location to First Baptist Church in Paola. So I'll send out more information as we get closer to that about, like with the judging forms and about the judging as well. But just to kind of give you an update on that. Location change. And then performing arts. We had been doing it Thursday afternoon, It was the only thing we did on Thursday afternoon. It was an extra judge and everything. So I feel like we have room on Tuesday to really do that. And so we kind of changed it to Tuesday, July 22nd, and we'll be judging from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. in building 2. Now, I will say it is correct in the fair book that are we coming out underperforming arts, but somehow we did not get that changed in the schedule like I thought we did. So that was my mistake. I proofed the schedule, thought I changed it, but obviously something happened that I didn't. So and then we need to talk about exhibit release.
Yep.
So Caitlin, do you want to go first?
I can, yeah, sure. So, with last year and all the changes with the auction and everything kind of being Saturday morning, and then also it was extremely hot on Saturday when we were trying to get some animals out to the fairgrounds. So the fair board and extension office came together, and so one thing we are allowing animals to do, livestock to do, all non-auction livestock, and this includes rabbits and poultry, also 4-H and open class livestock, rabbits, poultry. Um, if you're not in the auction, you guys can go home on Friday after 10 o'clock on Friday evening. So if you have an auction animal, of course, they got to stay on the grounds until they go through the auction on Saturday morning. Um, Now you don't have to take your animals home on Friday night if you don't want to. If you want to wait till the auction is done, you can wait until after 1 o'clock on Saturday, when everything else, that does include all the static 4-H and open static exhibits, those get released after 1 o'clock on Saturday. That way we are able to get both auctions over with and done, and then we can release stuff. Um, Carla, do you want to talk about
Yeah,
the other two?
I'll jump in here now. So yeah, like she said, 1 p.m. is all exhibit release. So please do, if you have families who aren't going to make that 1 p.m. exhibit release for some reason, um, please have them contact somebody else or pick up exhibits. We do not bring exhibits back to the office anymore because it just kept growing and growing, and then people would never pick them up. So we don't have the space or the meeting room. So they are at the fairgrounds and they're only available at certain times. So the best thing is to get a neighbor or another 4-H family or a leader or somebody to pick them up for your family if you're not going to be able to be there. Hopefully everyone's going to be there because at 2 p.m. we're also doing 4-H clubs cleaning up of assigned areas. So just like we have in the past, and it's worked really well up until last year, but that's because we had some schedule changes and we're working through that and figuring out how everything's going to work again. It worked really well, and you will be assigned those. Those usually come out in the July newsletter, or if they're not in our normal 4-H newsletter, they're in our special fair edition newsletter. And then they are doing, last year we started this back up, which I think was a good idea. We are still hoping to have ribbon premium payout on from 3:30 to 5:30 that evening, so our afternoon. So you basically come, you have the sale that day, you come and get your exhibits to take home, clean up your areas that are signed, and after cleanup is done, we say 3:30, but it also depends on if everyone's still cleaning up, we're not going to run it at 3:30, but about 3:30 to 5:30 we'll do ribbon pickup. So, and then you can get your money for your ribbons, and that is the best way, because the other thing is those don't come back to our office anymore because we're no longer allowed to. So you have to pick them up like before a fair board meeting, basically, if you can't make that, or leave a self-addressed stamped envelope. Um, okay. Any questions on that? Okay. I'm going to move on into the schedule, and most of this, like I said, is our schedule from same as last year, but there are the couple things that we already talked about. But just to kind of give an overview, especially if you're new to our fair, of some of the things that you need to know about is Saturday, July 12th is our dog show. It starts at 9 a.m. We also have 9 a.m. 4-H shooting sports shotgun at Hillsdale Range. So those events run simultaneously. We usually try to make arrangements for that and that. Sunday the 13th, well, at 1 p.m. we have shooting sports archery, and that's at the fairgrounds, but it's usually on the soccer fields, so back kind of behind. Monday the 14th at 9 is 4-H fashion review at the First Baptist Church in Paola. Thursday, July 17th at 6 is 4-H shooting sports, BB and air rifle, and that is usually in building 3. And that same evening, we usually also have our 4-H superintendent meeting, which I am late getting my superintendents out. So if you haven't heard from me, it's because I'm hoping to get those out this week or first of next week. So you will be hearing from me shortly. And then Saturday, July 19th, we have at 8:30 the pet show starts. Check-ins from 8 to 8:30. We have this fishing skillathon check-in from 8 to 9, and the skillathon starts at 8:30. Also, 9 to noon is our cleanup and setup for the fair. So the more people we have, the quicker it goes. That's when we actually we have fashion review, setting up the stage and decorating for fashion review. We start setting up buildings, cleaning buildings, taking all of our stuff out of storage and cleaning out our putting together the
Display cases.
yeah, cleaning the display cases, putting together our grid work, all those things so that we're ready for fair. And then from 2 to 3 that day is our 4-H bicycle project, which it is basically you can bring your own bike and you go through a safety check, a written test about bicycle safety, and then also they usually have kind of a riding course to test how well you ride your bike. And then of course we end that night with the 4-H leadership team and their Barnyard Olympics at 5 p.m.
All right, and then Sunday, at 4 o'clock is our 4-H and FFA horse show there in the rodeo arena.
All right, so Monday is when a lot of our bigger static projects. And when I talk about static, I usually mean those indoor that don't move. They're not alive and that type of thing. So from 8 to 11:30, we have 4-H visual arts, foods, and photography entry and judging. I know one of the questions I've had a lot this week is on foods and nutrition, food preservation. They are together for that. We also have our favorite foods show entry set up. You have from 8 to 9 to actually set up your display for your favorite foods show, your place setting, and put your food out. We also do poultry check-in from 8 to 11 that day. And then from 1 to 3 is our 4-H sewing and textile design, 4-H shopping with style, interior design and architecture, and fiber arts entry and judging in building 2. And while that's kind of going on as well, we have from 2 to 3 our 4-H consumer judging contest, entomology judging contest, photography judging contest, and horticulture ID contest. And the contests are come and go. So the 2 to 3 is just that's how long our registration is open. So we kind of have an idea of how long to wait around. But if you're kind of trying to get like your fiber arts judged or something before you go over there, just go ahead and send somebody over there and let them know that you're on your way and they can sign you up, and you still will have a little bit of time after that 3 o'clock to complete your judging on that. And then that night at 7 is our public 4-H fashion review in building number 4. So
All right, so Tuesday, like we talked earlier, this is where a lot of the entry, check-in, and weigh-in, all that kind of starts on Tuesday morning. So again, 7 o'clock, 4-H and FFA swine have to be on the grounds and checked in. With Michelle Menifee, here is one of the superintendents. 7 to 8:30 up in the north parking lot. Vet check for sheep, meat goats, and those dairy goats who are stalling the whole week. We will also still continue to have a rabbit check-in from 7:30 to 9 o'clock that morning in their rabbit barn. 7:30, livestock weigh-in begins. Again, that's going to be swine, beef, sheep, meat, goats, and those bucket calf exhibitors if they want to bring their babies down and get those weighed. Because you never know, that judge might ask. So come and get them weighed. And then 8:30 to 11:30. Carla, if you want to talk
Yeah,
quickly on those.
okay. So this is with the more static exhibits. So this is our normal ag mechanics, FFA farm mechanics comes in, 4-H astronomy, 4-H building block engineering, electricity, entomology, forestry, geology, our miscellaneous department, reading, robotics, rocketry, small engines, wildlife, and woodworking all come in at that time. Also, like I said, or 4-H and open class booths and banners are entered at that time as well in building number 3. And then we also have in building number 3 agronomy, 4-H floriculture, and 4-H horticulture entry and judging. And just a reminder from 9 to, I believe it's 11, or maybe it was 9:30, but 9:30, the performing arts is coming in that morning too and being judged. So entry and judging. And how our entries work on when I'm talking about entry and judging is we basically you come in and you enter your exhibit with with a superintendent or at the entry table, and then we have judges sitting at tables, and you just kind of wait in line to go in with the judge. And if you need to go and do something else while you're waiting, that's fine. Just kind of let them know that you need to go somewhere, and they can do that. So, but yeah, it's just kind of a come as you go and sit down with the judge, and it's a conference judge, what we call conference judging. So the judge asks questions for the from the 4-H'er about how they did the project, and you can explain what you did and why you chose to do it the way you did.
And then 9 o'clock is when the 4-H FFA beef and then those dairy cattle that are stalling the whole week must be on the grounds and checked in. 9 o'clock kicks off the 4-H poultry showmanship up there in Building 7, um, as well as their 4-H poultry and open class poultry judging starts at that time too. Um, the 4-H and open class bucket calves, if those open class bucket calves are stalling the whole week, 10 o'clock is when you guys need to be on the grounds and checked in. And then again, 10 o'clock is when all livestock needs to be weighed in. And as you guys can see, Tuesday morning it's going to be busy at the fairgrounds. So please let one of us know, let myself or Carla know that, hey, my beef is being weighed in, but I need to be over here at Ag Mechanics. So we'll work with you guys. I mean, we will. Just let us know. Because you guys have worked year round on those projects. So we'll work with you. Just let us know. And then in the afternoon, looks like 1 o'clock,
From
Carla. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things, yeah, we will work with you. Just, sometimes it's not me that you have to catch because it's a superintendent. But if there is an issue, let me know. But yeah, most of our superintendents, and we'll stress that at our superintendent meeting as well, that we will have to work with people and make sure. So the other thing is, if you are a superintendent, just I didn't highlight this one because it's not really a 4-H thing, but we do have the Rotary Club who provides us lunch for superintendents, um, to thank you for volunteering at the fair. So that's at 11:30 a.m. It's always a good lunch. Lots of different things you can do, usually barbecue and lots of salads and desserts that you can do. So if you are a volunteer, or if you're a superintendent, or if you want to be a superintendent, let me know and we can get you so you have an invitation to that lunch. 1 p.m. is our 4-H and open class booths and banner judging in building number 3. At 1:30, we're doing cloverbud judging and entry in building number 2. And this is, of course, great for our cloverbud members because we have older teens who get to act as the judge and sit down and do a conference judging with their cloverbuds and hand out their cloverbud ribbons. So, and then we display their items the week of fair. Okay,
Yep.
now we're back to sheep show. So sheep show.
This is a change from last year. We have moved the sheep show start time back an hour. So instead of starting at 5 o'clock, we are starting at 6 o'clock this year. with the sheep show. And then either 7 o'clock or 30 minutes after the conclusion of the sheep show will be the market meat goat show there at the building number 5. And then Wednesday morning, for those dairy exhibitors who, if you are not stalling the whole week, if you're just coming in the morning of showing and then going home, you need to have those animals on the grounds at 7:30. We will have a vet check there for those dairy goat exhibitors. And then your guys' show will start at 8 o'clock with the dairy cattle, followed by the 4-H FFA dairy goat show, followed by the open class dairy goat show. And then also starting at 8 o'clock is the 4-H rabbit judging and showmanship. And then at 8:30, our 4-H and open class bucket calf exhibitors, you guys will be starting your interviews or your consultation interview with the judge. I believe, yes. On Tuesday, when you guys check in with Lloyd McCrae, is your guys' superintendent. Very, very tall, nice gentleman. You can't miss him. He's very, very tall and very outgoing. Awesome guy. When you guys check your bucket calves in, I believe that is when you guys will select the time of the interview that you guys will be doing on Wednesday. So interviews start at 8:30, and then um your guys' show will start roughly about 10 o'clock with our 4-H bucket calf show, followed by our open class exhibitors in the bucket calf department. And all of that will take place in building number 5. Your interviews will actually take place in building number 2. Usually it's towards the back of building number 2 if we have space back there. Um, and then let's see.
So
Yep.
I was gonna say the only other thing we have that night is our leadership team is hosting kids night, and that's for kids ages 9 and up, and they have lots of different games and different things that they do that evening. So I know it's, sometimes the parade's just now getting over, but if you have young kids, that might be something you want to check out. It's usually in building number 5 in the show arena, and a lot of fun.
Thursday morning, we kick off at 8 o'clock with our 4-H and FFA swine show. Also, usually a Frontier Farm credit is there with juice and donuts. I will make sure our fair board's on top of that this year because I think last year they did not show up. And we had some hungry exhibitors, so I'll make sure we're on top of that. And hopefully not going to get myself in trouble for saying that. But then later that evening at 6 o'clock, we will have our 4-H and FFA beef show. And then this is a big thing. Remember, at 10 o'clock on Thursday evening, project and livestock auction forms are due to either your superintendents or the fair office. So honestly, if you guys can get those in as soon as you can, I know project auction, make sure I'm right, Carla, project auction, you guys, it's how the sheets come in is your
Yeah.
guys' order.
Yeah, our order is how they come in. So we
Yep.
start with number 1. So the person who is the first one on Monday morning usually gets number 1, and we go from there.
Yep.
So
So please make sure you guys get those auction forms turned in to either the superintendent's or the fair office. Honestly, as soon as you guys can, but 10 o'clock p.m. on Thursday.
and when we talk about superintendents, that's for livestock auction forms. Project auction forms need to go to the office. So
Yep. Yep. And then Friday morning, we kick off with the livestock judging contest. Registration's at 9 o'clock, and the contest starts at 9:30. There in the show arena, and then that evening, at 6 o'clock, we will be doing the round robin showmanship contest. And then again, new this year is after 10 o'clock that evening, all non-auction livestock, which that includes rabbit and poultry, may be released. And that's open class and 4-H. So Buggy calf exhibitors, you are included in that too. But if you have an auction animal, those have to stay on the grounds until the next morning. Which you wanna go or
Yeah,
you
I'll
want
take
me to
this
keep
one.
going?
You've been talking a lot. Saturday, so we start at 9 a.m. with the project auction and livestock sale to um, follow. 1 p.m. is exhibit release. So this is for any exhibits still on the ground, your static, open and 4-H, as well as any animal exhibits if you didn't pick them up on Friday at 10. 2 p.m., like I said, clubs clean designated areas, and 3:30 to 5:30 is your premiums for your ribbon premiums. So that's like the $4 or $8 for a blue ribbon that you get for exhibiting at the fair. One thing I did want to kind of clarify in case we do have some new people, new families on here, because I this is another question I get quite a bit, is as far as like project and livestock auction, you can sell one or the other. When we talk about project auction, it can be anything that you exhibited at fair that's not a live animal. So, if you have a photo, if you have foods, I do encourage you to do like baskets, but you'll only list like one item. So if you want to do a foods basket with biscuits that you made and maybe some jams or something, that's fine, but you'd list jams or you'd list the biscuits, not both. Um, and then you either do the project or you do the livestock. And of course, livestock has to be exhibited at the fair as well. And they have
Mhm.
to be market
Yep.
livestock.
Yep.
So
Yeah, livestock only the market, and then we actually have minimum weights that you have to get that animal has to reach to be able to qualify to be able to sell in the auction. And all of those are will be listed in the fair book. Is that the next slide?
yeah, I think so. And then one other thing on that is we do also do meat pins. You can sell meat pins of your poultry or rabbits, but they
Yep.
have to be meat pins. So they're not something that you showed separately. You have to show them in that meat pin and they have to meet a minimum weight as well. So
Yep.
just to kind of clarify, because that seems to be some of our biggest questions that we get.
Yep.
All right, pre-entries. You want to talk about this, Caitlin?
Sure. Yep. Can do. So we moved to a online pre-entry system 3 years ago.
Or
Four,
four? Yeah.
3 or 4. Man, I can't remember. Um, and we that and that system is called Fair Entry, believe it or not. So Fair Entry, we will have that open for online pre-entries come June 1st. And then those will close on July 1st. So you have right at a month to get those entries in. Um, Now, for the new families and also for the existing families, when we switched to this system, I did make a kind of step-by-step video on how to do ear entries. And those videos will be on our website. So granted, I think a couple of the dates and stuff might be incorrect in that video since we did make that a couple years ago, but the gist of it is the same. It shows you examples on how to log in, make an account, do your entry, and um, kind of complete and submit your entry. So if you have time, please watch that video. Because one thing, if you accidentally submit your entries soon, or not soon, but you accidentally hit enter and submit it, one of us at this office, either Carla or myself, we have to go in and actually approve that. It's called an invoice. We have to approve that before you're even able to get back into the system to add entries. So please watch those videos or that video before you start, just so we don't have any mistakes. Um, Fair books will be they are have been ordered. We should hopefully have them available for you guys to pick up middle of May. We will send out probably an email or Facebook post or something saying, "Hey, fair books are here."
I
And yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say I am hoping to have them at our 4-H council meeting so leaders can maybe pick them up there. That's kind of the plan right now. as long as everything goes, according to the plan. So,
Yep. So, um, lost my train of thought, but
so if
yeah, were we good? Just okay, Carla, I completely lost my train of thought.
that's okay.
Carla, you jump in.
So, if you are doing your pre-entries and you run into questions or you need help, please contact the office. If you don't have a device that works well with it, or you need us to help you step by step through the process, please feel free to contact us and we'll help you out. We do that all the time. I don't know if we're going to set it up this year because we don't have a lot of people who use it anymore, but we do set up sometimes a computer in our lobby area and can help you work through how to do pre-entries, especially if you know somebody who's doing open class pre-entries, because the more open class we get pre-entered, the better off we are. The other thing is on pre-entries, go ahead and enter them, even if you think there's a chance of you bringing it nut. It's better to enter them and scratch than to have to enter them in when you get there that day, especially in open class. So, kind of try to decide what really want, because we don't necessarily want like 50 entries and you bring one. But like on gardening, you might not know exactly what's going to be ripe in your garden at that time. So go ahead and enter those things.
Yep.
And then you have till July 1st. That's the deadline that everyone needs to remember. July 1st, get them done before that.
Yep.
And that's all we have today. So it is only 81 days until the 2025 Miami County Fair, which is I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing right now. I'm it kind of depends on the day and the hour. Sometimes I'm ready for fair, and sometimes I'm not, but we will be ready in 81 days. I guarantee that. So, any questions or anything else, Caitlin, that you want to add?
Um, just a quick reminder that the small livestock weigh-in is happening this Sunday evening from 4 to 8 o'clock at the fairgrounds. So I'm hoping everybody receive those emails and Facebook posts. So,
Any other questions, comments,
did we
things
put
that,
everybody to sleep?
yeah.
Man, we must have put them to sleep.
Okay, well, the one thing is, don't be afraid to ask questions. I get all the time, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. Don't. I part of our job and is to ask questions, and I would much rather or answer questions, and I would much rather answer your questions than you to not know what you're doing or to get something wrong and have to tell a kid no. So please, if you have anything on this, please just ask. We'd be glad to explain it to you and kind of walk you through the process. We're all in this together, and we want the Miami County Fair to be a positive experience for all our 4-Hers. And the way we do that is by parents asking questions and we all work together. So
Yep.
that, I think that's all we have tonight. So thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for taking time out of your evening.
Thank you.